GSN,
the network for games.
Call it lower. Call it higher. Call it right, and we'll light your fire on Card Sharks. And here's the host of Card Sharks, Jim Perry.
And thank you. Welcome to Card Shark. You are most kind. And also being kind and sending in an opening poem is Diana Levine of Monticello, New York. Thank you, Diana, for sending in the opening poem. Now let's get to the cards. And Janice and Bettina will start loading in the cards. As you can see, we have a game in progress with these Card Sharks. Paul Plasko, our champion. Hey, Paul, nice to see you again. Our detective, and you said you're an L.A. detective. You said you enjoyed the work that you're currently in. What kind of detective work are you in?
Well, I'm working in the gang activity section of the police department. I get a chance to work with a lot of the kids. So
Oh, that's nice. So you can do something positive, right?
Right.
Instead of constantly arresting people, you're trying to get people from... so they won't get arrested, right?
That's right, yes.
You're not nervous here on the show, are you?
Well, I feel pretty relaxed right
Oh,
now.
I'm going to say, because somebody told me on your way in the studio today you took a wrong turn, and what did you do?
Oh, geez. I was so excited having such a good time.
Uh-huh.
I went in the ladies' restroom by
Oh,
mistake.
okay. And Paul's won $3,500 in cash here on the show. Linda Schiffer, our challenger. Hi, Linda.
Hi,
I'm sorry to tease you with that, Paul. Linda, once again, won't you remind us about yourself?
Okay, my name is Linda Schiffer. I come from Trumbull, Connecticut. I have 2 beautiful children, and I have a brother that lives with me and a wonderful husband.
Good. A Connecticut accent you've got there, Linda. huh?
No.
Where are you from originally?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Right.
I hope you're having fun. You're relaxed now, right? You were a little nervous the first
Yes,
show.
I feel much better now.
That's good. And both players, have you cut your cards in front of the audience?
Yes.
Then let's pick up where we left off. We are in the middle of game 2. We play the best 2 games out of 3. Paul, the champion, won game number 1. And looking at the board, he needs 4 cards. And Linda, the challenger, who needs this game to tie, as she's moved over her base card, she needs just 2. So we'll pick up with this question to you, Paul. Paul, we asked 100 single women, have you ever been on a date with a guy who had such busy hands that you actually said to him, take your filthy hands off me? How many women said they have?
Oh, gee, that's a familiar sound from years ago. I'll have to say that number is sort of high. I think that's happened to most of the guys where the girl said that to them and kind of jest. I'll say 72.
Well, we asked the women. We asked 100 single women.
Right, 72.
And 72 out of 100 have said, take your filthy hands off me.
Oh, I don't agree with him at all. I know a girl who took the guy's hand off her lap and said, is this yours? So I'm positive it's got to be much higher.
Even higher than that?
Even higher.
Tell me, Linda, was it his? Oh, no, she says higher. The actual number of single women who've told a man, take your filthy hands off me, is 54. It is not higher, Paul. Paul, we left off with a jack as your base card.
I'm going to change it. Change the card.
Jack, Paul doesn't like him. I want a 6.
Well, I've got to go higher.
Higher than a 6? No, 5. That change did not pay off. It gives
Change
Linda a
that.
free chance. You did
Oh,
not
I
win the question. You
can't
cannot
change
change it,
it.
Linda.
Oh.
I'm sorry about that. I'd love to, but you've got an 8.
I'm going to go higher.
Higher than an 8? No, she's right with an 8.
Lower.
To tie up the match lower, yes! You got a little excited there, Linda.
Just a little.
Well, each player has 1 game and $100. We're setting up for the tiebreaker. 3 cards up there, 3 questions here, and the question goes to you, Linda.
Okay.
Linda, we found 100 people across the country who live in towns with populations of 10,000 or less. And we asked them, do you personally know someone who has been divorced? How many people who live in small towns said they don't know a single person who's gotten a divorce?
I think everybody in these days knows somebody who's gotten divorced. Everybody does it, don't they? That has to be very low. I would say 15.
15 out of 100 don't know a single person who's gotten a divorce, Paul.
Read the question again for me, Jim.
Surely, these are people who live in the towns with a population of 10,000 or less. And we asked them, do you personally know somebody who's been divorced? How many people who live in small towns said they don't know a single person who's gotten a divorce?
Oh, gee, that's really... In small towns, everybody knows exactly what everyone else is doing. I'll have to say it's even less than that.
Even lower than that. The actual number of people who live in small towns who don't know anyone who's been divorced is 2. Very much lower, Paul. And in the tiebreaker, the champion starts with a 5.
I'm going to change it.
When you win the question, you have the right to change it. Always right up the middle with an 8.
Okay, I'm going to gamble lower.
He says lower than the 8. He's right for the 3.
Higher.
For the championship, higher than the 3. And a great comeback for the champion. Linda, thank you. You won a game and $100. We had some nice party here.
Thank you very much.
Say hello to our friends in Connecticut and Brooklyn. Linda Schiffer. Paul, come on down. And again, our congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, this fine champion goes for the big money with the money cards coming up right after this commercial break. With our champion, Paul Glasgow, another $200 in the game. Are you ready for the money cards?
Ready, Jim?
Let's get up there with the money cards. Come on, Paul. And we wish you well, as always. Once again, as Paul's cut the cards in front of our audience, Janice will start dealing them out, giving you $200 of new money on the bottom line. These 3 cards move up to the second level. We'll give you another $200 of betting money and 3 more cards. Minimum bets, Paul, remember, $50. And when you get to the big bet, there you must risk at least half the money. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Here's $200. And you can, of course, change your base card on each of the 3 levels if you need to. And, Paul, you'll start off with... an 8.
Oh, I want to change that card, Jim.
Can't say as I blame you. Next card off the top of the deck, you must play this one. A king.
Okay, very good. I'm going to gamble and go all of it lower.
$200, the whole thing, lower than a king. Oh, yeah.
All right. I'm going to bet 300 higher.
Holding back a little on this one. $300 higher than a 3. No, he was right to hold back a 2. Wow.
All of it higher.
$100 higher than the 2. Yes, with a 6. Back to 200. We'll give you the other $200 as we move up. You've got 400 and a 6.
I'm going to change that card, Jim.
Changing the 6 to... a 9.
9. Okay. I'm going to bet $50 lower.
Taking the minimum bet, $50 lower than the 9. Oh, a jack. A little better card at $350.
I'll bet it all. All of it lower. I'm going to
All
gamble
of it.
right here.
Got a feeling.
All of it lower.
$350, all of it lower than a jack. It
All
is
right.
$700.
I'm going to bet 100 higher.
Let's see an ace now. Come on, $100 higher than a 7. No
Okay.
5. Down to 600 as we move up the 5.
I'm going to change that card.
Come on, let's get a good chance. Let's get something out of these money cards. Oh, 10.
Okay.
Paul, you must bet at least 300. You've got 600. What's your big
I'm
bet?
going to bet 300 lower.
All right, $300. Half of it. 300 lower than a 10.
All
It is.
right.
Good comeback. $900, 200 in the game. That's $1,100 for that game. That's not too bad. Paul, come on down. You held back on that 3, and you were right. You had a feeling.
I felt it.
Well, Paul, he's got good feelings all the way down the line because he's now won $4,500 in cash. He's still here with a new challenger coming up after this. Well, Janice is dealing out 2 brand new decks of cards, and that means it's time to meet a new challenger on Card Sharks. Barbara Matthews, looks like you were in a hurry to get out here. Isn't that nice? Barbara, I thought you were doing On Your Mark, Get Set, Go over there. That's nice. Not at all. We're happy to have you out here.
Oh, hi.
Why don't you tell us about yourself?
Okay, my name is Barbara Matthews. I'm from North Shore, California, population 200. My husband and I have a little boy, 7.5 months old.
Good.
And in our spare time, we like to shoot trap and go out into the desert and take a look at all the beautiful stuff out there.
That's nice. Is your
Thank
town
you.
in the desert?
Yes, it is the desert.
It is. That's
Yes.
It is the desert. You 200 people in the desert,
Yes,
right?
that's it.
We're happy to have you here, Barbara.
Thank
You
you.
cut your cards?
Yes, I have.
Then we'll get started. Playing the best 2 out of 3, we start with a question to the champion. Paul, we surveyed 100 prison inmates. These are all men who are currently serving time in a California state prison. And we asked them, Do you think stiffer sentences would help reduce the crime rate? How many inmates said that stiffer sentences would reduce the crime rate? Fascinating question for a detective.
Yes, I should say so. Well, I'd say, number one, that most of the prisoners don't agree to that. They feel that they've had problems that's caused them to be there, so they would say that that stiffer sentences would not help. The
So how many
figure
thought
should
that
be
it would help reduce?
16.
16 said that out of 100 prison inmates said stiffer sentences would reduce the crime rate.
It is going to be higher, and my thinking is they've seen, since they've gone through the legal process, they've known that time can make it go, and the judges decide that let's get that over with and put him to jail, and so it's going to be whatever I said.
So you... So you said higher, Barb.
Okay, that's what I want, higher.
The actual number of inmates who think stiffer sentences would reduce the crime rate is 13. It is not higher. No, you see, Barbara, if you say higher and it isn't higher, you can't win that one.
Okay.
Paul, the champion starts off with a 5.
I'm going to change that card, Jim.
Getting rid of the 5. Our 9.
All right. Lower.
Lower than a 9. A 2.
Hey, higher.
Higher than the 2. A king. Lower than a king. A 10.
Let's go lower.
You're going to go for it. Ooh,
Lower.
he's going to go all the way back to the base card or win the first game. If this card is lower, big chance for the champion, and he won it. Game 1 and $100. We're set up for game 2. And, Barbara, you didn't even get your first question there.
Well,
Janice is dealing out, same 2 decks of cards, and we'll start game 2 with a question to you, Barbara.
Okay.
And actually, I said we didn't get to you with a question, but really it is not an advantage to get the question. It is the other way around. That's why we start with the champion. Barbara, we asked 100 people. Should parents have the right to refuse to send their children to public school if they believe they can educate them better at home? How many people said parents should have the right to educate their children at home?
I think that that's going to be a low number. I'm going to say 35, and my reasoning is, even though they think they may be able to do it, the school systems have done it for years. They know what the kids need, and therefore I think they can help the kids better by going to public school.
So for that reason, Barbara says that 35 out of 100 said that parents should have the right to educate their children at home.
Well, I like her reasoning, but I think it's higher, and I think it's because we have more educated people today, and I think that a lot of parents are capable of teaching their kids at home, so I'm going to say higher.
So you think they should have the right?
I think so.
The actual number of people who think parents should have the right to educate their children at home is 39. It is higher, Paul. Paul starts with a 2.
Higher.
Higher than the 2 and 8. Freezing it. Using the 1 card advantage, we move over the freeze bar, and this question goes to you, Paul. Paul, we asked 100 housewives who live in the suburbs. Is your garage so full you can't even get your car inside? How many housewives said yes, it is?
Oh, gee, that's yours. Well, I'm not even going to talk about my own situation. But I'm going to say that figure's not too high. Most people, you know, they buy new cars and they like to park them in there. So I'm going to say 40.
40. 40 out of 100 said they can't even get the car inside.
Well, our garage is a disaster. I can't even walk across it. But if he says 40, I'm going to say lower because pride of ownership and everything. They've got shelves and everything, so I'm going to say it's lower.
Lower. The actual number of housewives whose garage is so full they can't get their car in it is 40, right on the button. Oh. As I recall, you've done that before, getting it right on the button.
Jim, I'd like to change that card.
Winning the question, he can change that 8 to a 7.
I feel confident. Higher.
Higher than a 7. He's right with an 8. You don't feel confident anymore, Paul.
No, I don't.
Again, taking the 1 card advantage. Barbara. Barbara, we asked 100 Playboy bunnies. When you were in high school, were you considered a prude? How many Playboy bunnies said they were a prude in high school?
That's going to be a low number because they have to be sociable. I think they were probably pretty friendly and outgoing, so I'm going to say it's low. I'm going to say 18 were prudish.
18 out of 100 Playboy bunnies said they were prudes in high school.
Well, I think that's pretty good, but I feel that there were more of them that were. I'd say it's much higher. I'd say 20.
Higher.
I'd say higher. You know.
The actual number of Playboy bunnies who were approved in high school is 42. Very much higher. Paul. Paul with an 8.
I'm going to change that 8.
Changing the 8 to... Oh, and 9. Still staying around those middle cards.
Let's go lower.
Lower than a 9. It is a 6.
Let's go higher.
If this is higher, Paul has the championship for the win.
Oh,
yes! Paul did it again. Robert, we thank you for joining us. Thank you. Say hello to our friends in the desert. Thank you. Barbara Matthews, come on out here, Paul. Well, you always find a way to win. Hope you're going to have better money cards this time. We'll get to that right after we take time out for a little business with a house. So go away. Champion Paul Glasgow, once again, I saw you cutting those cards. Did you feel like you gave him a good cut?
I really do feel like it this time, Jim.
Let's get to the money cards. Come on, Paul. You know how to do it. And here come the money cards, and as always, we give you new money with the money cards, and those 7 cards, if you can go double, double, double all the way up, that's $28,800 that you can win right there on those cards. So we wish you well. Hope you're going to do it.
Okay, Jim. Thank you.
Here's $200 to start you off. And again, a choice of base cards as well, and with $200, Paul, you have a 9.
Oh, I'd like to change that card, Jim.
Near the middle, he doesn't want it. A 4, much better
Okay.
card.
I'm going to bet 100 higher.
$100 higher than a 4. Yes, with a 7
Okay.
for $300.
I'm going to bet 100 higher again.
$100 higher than a 7. Oh no, another 7. Down to 200.
I'm going to bet 100 higher.
Come on, let's do it this time. 100 higher than a 7. Oh. But with 100, we still have that other $200 of betting money as we move up. You've got a really
I'm
good
gonna
card
bet-
for the first time, and
I'm
300.
gonna Bet it all higher, Jim.
$300 higher than a 2. Yes, with a 10. 600.
I'm going to bet 400 lower.
Good size bet on the 10. He's got a feeling, is he right? 400 lower than a 10. It is a 6 for $1,000.
I'm going to bet 400 higher.
Haven't seen a face card yet. $400 higher than a 6.
All
that's
right.
just as good as a face card. Up goes the 8 with $1,400.
Change that card, Jim.
Big change. Let's see a good one for the big bet. Paul will play a 2.
All right. All of it higher.
Double or nothing. Higher than a 2. Come on for all of it. He did it. $2,800. 200 in the game. That's $3,000, Paul. Not too bad. Way to go. Come on down. Well, when you got the good cards, you took advantage of them. And this fine champion up to an even $7,500 in cash.
Just marvelous.
You're a good champion. We'll be right back right after this. And we are back with our champion, and Janice will start dealing out 2 brand new decks of cards. And Paul, let's find out who your new challenger is on Card Shark. Peggy Tazioli. Hello, Peggy. You came bounding out there and almost knocked the set over.
I know.
You're eager to get here?
Yes.
That's good, good. How far did you run, Peg?
Long ways.
Why don't you tell us about yourself?
Okay, my name is Peggy Tazioli. I come from Buttonwillow, California. Very small town. I'm married to a farmer, and I have 1 daughter, 7 years old, and her name's Shauna.
Well, we're delighted to have you here.
Thank
We
you.
want to get into your game very quickly, Peg. So we'll start off the best 2 out of 3 with a question to Paul. Paul, we found 100 house husbands. Now, these are all men who stay home and take care of the house and kids while their wife works. And we asked them, do you know exactly how much money your wife makes? How many house husbands said they don't even know how much money their wife makes?
Well, it's a funny thing that I get that question because I don't know how much my wife makes, and I think that many of the husbands don't know. House husbands are not. So I'll say that figure is low. I'd say 28.
How many don't know?
Oh, how many don't know?
How many don't know? Yes.
How many don't know? Okay, that figure. I'm sorry, that figure's got to be high. 72.
72. Peggy, higher or lower?
If I worked, my husband would definitely know. Definitely. So I have to say it's lower.
Lower. The actual number of house husbands who don't know how much money their wife makes is 21. Very much lower. Peggy.
All right.
And the champion starts off, or the challenger does, with a 10.
I'd like to change that card, please, Jim.
Changing the 10 to An
Oh,
ace.
all right, I love it. Lower, lower.
Lower than an ace. A 3.
Higher, higher, higher.
Higher than a 3. A 4.
Higher, higher, come on.
A 4, 5.
Higher, higher, let's go. Higher, higher, yeah!
Peggy won game 1 just like that. And, wow, a sensational start for the challenger. The champion's got to make a comeback on our next card charge. Can he do it? Join us then to find out. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
If you've never won anything,
Naughty.
then you need Playmania.
And if you like games, if you like cash, that's what we're all about.
And we've got so much dough to blow, we're even giving you more show.
Are you sure?
Catch Playmania live late night now every Thursday through Sunday at 12 midnight, 11 p.m. Central.
I'm going to say Playmania.
Now you're speaking my language. I like your answer.
Playmania, more show, more dough.
Congratulations, you've won $200.
Now, Thursday through Sunday at 12 midnight, 11 p.m. Central. Only on GSN, the network for games.
2